Da-da-da.
Hola, mi amigo Clark. How you doing? Okay, I'm excited about something because we just discovered something. The deck chair, I'm not even sure which incarnation of the deck chair I sent you, but it's very important, and I want you to, Michelle, film these. This is an older deck chair with this type of mechanism, with the cups. Okay, this is an older deck chair. We switched to this mechanism because we had problems with, nails coming loose. See how that thing was nailed in?
And slipping through
and
here,
slipping, and this
slipping.
just was not a very good design. This is a better design. However, we had yet to duplicate the comfort level. Okay, you'd sit in this deck chair, and it just feels a certain way, And even though this pad is cut the same, sit in this one, it still feels pretty good, but just wouldn't feel the same. And my wife discovered this. I wish I could take the credit, but I can't.
You get credit for lots of things, just not this one.
Here's the difference, and I'm just going to show. What's happening is this thing is too scrunched up. It needs to be stretched out, and the reason it's not stretched out is because of the lengths.
The poles are different.
Right. So in other words, are you getting that? You see how
2 inches to be exact, actually, measured.
It's like this black rope on this new chair, show it, this black rope needs to be coming all the way out like this.
Which therefore kind of spreads that chair. Show them how you want it to kind of spread again.
So in other words, it needs to
kind of just be able to spread out a little couple more inches. And that will allow it to not feel so much like an L. And more like a
V.
A little,
So in other words, it's more LV. And we're not talking about the tilt of the chair. Because this pad, I believe you've got just about right.
Honey. Yeah.
So that's something. If we need to send you exact measurements, or if I need to send you an old chair, I will. Let me know.
Measures 2 inches longer than that pole right there. Is how
we're going to give you exact measurements later.
Okay.
First off, this chair that you sent did not come with the hardware tied on it. Okay. In other words, this S-hook I tied on myself. I really want the chairs to come tied so the customer can just hang it up. This particular S-hook, especially with the deck chair, has to have a very small opening here. Okay, China would send them with the big opening, knots would slip through. Really was frustrating. So I believe the S-hook that I sent you, but that S-hook's got to have a very small opening here. Okay, so the deck chair hardware needs to be tied. I'm sorry if I keep repeating myself, but hardware needs to be tied on. Okay, right. It also comes with a regular footrest, which this one didn't have. I don't know if you just left it out, no big deal, but the deck chair needs to come with a regular footrest as well as this tucked under thing, and we'll get to that in a moment.
And of course the footrest being this Y idea where it Ys and has the pole.
Okay, so regular footrest needs to be included. Sorry if I keep repeating myself, but remember, with China, they wouldn't get it. While I'm down here, what I mean by the armrests being too long...
That scraping is kind of distracting.
Okay,
sorry.
right. And that scraping is something we're going to address here in a minute, too.
Okay.
Too much material. These are armrests. They need to sit more like armrests. So again, cut the amount of material.
What would be interesting, Magda, and let me say, guys, I think what's happened possibly with the 2 different designs, because these armrests are going to be longer.
Because
so maybe these armrests might, if you sent him 2 different deck chairs, Clark, it's possible that you guys have sort of made a combination of those 2. And so I think those armrests actually probably will fit on this chair, but the fact that those poles are shorter, that's I think where the problem is, hon. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
I'm just going to go through things as I remember them. Just real quick, this is a very slight thing, but you see how there's a little lip here, allowing this cushion to drop down a little farther. I really want that lip to be there because a lot of times people are not tall enough and their head won't sit against this pad. So in other words, when I sit in this one, you know, that pad, that's just perfect. You know, it's going to be perfect on this one too, but somebody shorter, it's not going to drop down. It's a small thing, but I really would like it to be addressed. All right, these are nitpicky things. Real important, very important. Doesn't look strong enough. Okay, this clip, this type of clip, we had a lot of trouble of these breaking. Now, I don't know if you've tested them, but again, Clark, remember, 350-pound people sit in these chairs. And just by looking at this, it looks really flimsy. You know, that could break real easy, as opposed to this thing that's got this sort of bead on it. We haven't had too many problems with this type of clip. So yeah, it's just. Would you come here for a second?
Yeah. Yeah, I was just checking those. Yeah.
Just got to be beefy, and if you can find this, whichever this one that's got this little bead on it, that was better.
Yeah. Clips.
Same thing with these clips. Now, I mean, they look okay, but I'm just saying, 350 pounds. They snap very easy for some reason. If somebody doesn't know how to sit in the chair and they sit really quick in it, it puts tension on the rope and causes that thing to snap. So these are the vulnerable areas that really, man, if you could just overkill, you get the strongest one you can get. All right, that. When you fold this out, there's got to be enough rope. By the way, the stitching's really good.
Yeah.
But there's got to be the length enough, you know, so you can hang it from here.
Yeah, because no.
And actually overkill. There should be enough to where you could hang it and be able to adjust it.
Yeah. And we really like the length of this pull out versus the one on this.
Well, this is an older chair, exactly, so I'm pretty sure the one I sent you.
Yeah.
However, while we're addressing it, if there's a way, you know, because it's longer, it will drag the floor.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a big old dude in it like me.
Trying to keep light on there, Clark. Mm-hmm. It's a little shadowy, I can see.
All right. So in other words, if there's a way that we can, I don't know.
Here, how might you get out of that? Because it's completely dark. Let's turn it around that way. There we go. Yeah, so.
If there's a way to, I don't know if we shorten the straps, but make it more pretty close.
Sorry, I've covered up the
well, take a look at the old style, how it's really tucked in there.
And what it is, of course, is, oh, sorry, Carl,
there's
I'm
length.
Trying to get this right here so I'm recording the right thing. I'm getting a bit dyslexic here. Okay, it's the rope that is connecting right here. These ropes don't really have to be that long, connecting those clips. Right. Like this one on this older chair has about 1 inch, and these ones here are about 1.5 inches. You know.
So now, just can you you know, when you sit and you use it with a spring, it gets real close. So
yeah, of course I can't. Sorry, the light is not allowing me to show them. But yeah, lift it up. Way to go. I can't get, I need a light.
You know.
Yeah.
Okay, while I'm thinking about it.
Oh yes.
It seems like you've got a different design here with this.
Man, I'm trying to get some light on this.
Okay.
No,
This
it's not showing it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get light. Okay. Mm-hmm. No. Yep.
Well, this is embarrassing.
Yeah, I can't. I'm just trying to get that light. I can't see it too. So, okay.
Can't see it?
I can't really see it, but it doesn't.
Well, this is causing this thing to bunch up. It's causing it to have a feeling of squishiness here. Okay? Whereas the old style, and I don't know if you changed it because it may be stronger, but
it's sewn all the way, honey.
yeah, it's sewn all the way, and then you've got that there, which makes it wider here.
Well, I'm realizing what's happening. That's because of these cups. That's why that's done like that, and because that doesn't have cups, it just can't. It's not done like that.
Come here.
Okay. We're talking here, Clark, just to...
Smarty pants.
Yeah, just making sure.
This is...
Okay, can you see that?
Gosh.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
It is a little frustrating right now with the light. But, Clark, we're trying to show you that part.
So it's like I can appreciate if you're trying to make it structurally stronger, but I've been selling these for so long, when you get that feeling of rubbing underneath the legs, people really clue in on it. They go, this cuts into my legs. I don't like it.
Okay, so again, what we have, Clark, is just that rope underneath that can. Oh, I got a good light right here, hon, that connects. Mm-hmm. It's not sewn right there.
Yeah, it needs to be sewn, and that way it would keep that firm, rather than giving it sort of a U shape.
Yeah. And then this one here, Clark, I'm just going to put one set of hands in here so that you don't have two sets of hands. But see there, it's connected right there. Yep.
So
that one took us a little more, as we knew it would.
Yeah. Cup holder lengths and things like that.
Can we sum it up again? Just give them in point form.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, the biggest thing is this discrepancy in the lengths from here to here and here to here. And we may just measure and give you exact measurements. And I may just send this to you just in case. Let me know if you think it is. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, this overhead dowel, 41 inches. I think the one I sent you, it's embarrassing. They just cannot get it right. Oh, thank you. 45 inches.
44 and a half.
44 and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I want that overhead dowel 44 and a half inches.
Mm-hmm.
Please. It just makes a difference. Okay? So the overhead dowel, 44 and a half inches. I may have sent you something wrong, but now I like the thickness. I like the thickness of the dowel here, and I'm assuming that these holes are not going to be drilled here. These extra 2 holes. So the length really needs to be addressed.
The length of
addressing this
so
issue.
The poles will create that by making those poles about.
Okay.
They're 2 inches longer, but we'll measure to be sure.
Have you got that idea, Clark?
Clark's.
The material of the armrests.
You don't want to make them shorter, hon, because you're going to be making them the same length as that.
Ultimately, we want them to be armrests. We want them to be functional. This is still really kind of short for me. Just ultimately, if there was a way to make them adjustable, it'd be the way to go. But anyway, not down here, not up here, somewhere in between. If we can address this,
keep it tighter, a little tighter.
Beefy, strong clips here and here.